What's up, you guys? Happy Tuesday. I am here in LA in studio. Welcome to Let's Be Honest. I'm your host, Kristin Cavallari, and I am sitting here with one of the most badass women. She's a stand-up comedian. She hosted F-Boy Island. She had her own show on E! She's an actress. She's been in movies and on TV shows. Of course, you guys, I am talking about the very funny Nikki Glaser.
Thank you, Kristin.
I'm so excited that you're here.
I'm so excited to meet you. I feel like
We've met.
When?
I think I came on your podcast a bajillion years ago.
You did. This is a thing I have. I black out when I meet people I'm really excited to meet. And especially in that kind of setting where, like, I've done this to Larry David, like one of my heroes, where I was like, it's the first time we met. And he goes, no, we've met before.
Oh, how funny.
It's a thing, like, I can't process it. It keeps happening to me. All it says is that I really do like you because I black it out if I meet you. But you were I was on your show like briefly.
Yes.
When you came in. Oh yeah,
that's right. I was filming Very Cavallari.
Yes,
and I
you came and did
podcast.
A serious tour.
Made the rounds.
Yeah.
Okay, how funny.
I'm so embarrassed. I'm sorry that I did that to you.
That's okay. I'm taking it as a compliment.
You should.
Because when there's someone that I really like I am never forgetting that moment when I meet them.
You would think that would be that way for me, but it's this weird just thing my brain does lately that because there's no rhyme or reason for it that I wouldn't remember meeting you or Larry David, but it's happened to me both times.
Well,
and it's embarrassing to like
David,
one up someone. Oh, we've met before? Like, I'm not trying to be cool.
But I feel like people do that, by the way.
Oh, and it's nice to see you.
Yeah.
Instead of meet you. That's the safe one.
But you got to do it because sometimes we do meet people and you do forget.
But if someone says it's nice to see you, I just know that they don't know if they've met me or not. It's never like they do know. It just means they don't know.
Completely agree. Yeah. Well, you are extremely busy. We were just talking about that off camera, so I really appreciate you squeezing me in.
Yes, I am turning down podcasts right now because everyone has a podcast, but the second I saw this, I was like, hell yeah!
Oh my God, I love you.
Because it's a good chance to like get to know someone. I think on my serious show, you were probably just in for like 15 minutes. This is going to be like an hour or so of us hanging out.
Exactly.
And you can forge a friendship in podcasts.
It's true, because after this, we are going to be best friends.
Yeah, because what other time would we sit down for an hour to talk? Like it would be if we went out to like on a date.
Yeah.
A date. Yeah,
so
exactly. It's like I've met people and felt like, we're friends now after these things.
I agree.
Until the next time I see you and I go, we've never met.
So good to see you. It's so nice to see you. Okay, well, I'm so excited to talk to you because, of course, you're so funny. I just think you have the best personality.
Aww.
But you also have such an interesting story when it comes to your love life.
Yeah.
So I want to break that all down. So I feel like let's just jump right in.
Let's do it.
You've been on and off with your current boyfriend for 9 years.
It's 10 years now. 10 years on and off. But we're on right now, so we'll be off soon.
How many times have you guys broken up?
Like countless times.
Really?
Yeah. The most recent one I think was last July. So like a year. It's been a year of no breakups.
Wow.
Yeah.
Is that the longest it's gone?
It might be. It's just, I don't know why we do it. I really have to examine it. I do know that I am totally scared of commitment. And I think for so long, I thought that he was the one because it's just easier to be the girl, to tell yourself that you're the archetype of the girl that's like, I want to get married and he won't settle and settle down with me. And like, I'm chasing him around and he just doesn't want to commit. I chose him because he was the type of person that wouldn't commit. I knew he was. He always said, I don't want to get married, all these things. So I chose that person. And now I think it's switched. Like he's more of the one that's like, he's now ready to like move forward with things. And I am realizing, I didn't plan for this and I don't like this. I'm scared of this. Even though I love him, I'm just deciding to be with someone forever reminds me of death, I think.
Oh my God,
because it's like
so
till you die. And anything that's like,
time.
This is the last thing you'll do. I don't care if it's the best thing at all. It just makes me feel scared.
Claustrophobic.
Yeah, and just
where does
it's
that come
sad.
from?
Like if someone were to even, I don't own a house, I don't own a car. Like I like
so
don't
really are.
like buying, like investing in things.
So, but where does that come from? Is that something from your childhood? I feel
My
like most
parents
things
are still together.
Wow, that's fascinating then.
But I am someone that I never liked Christmas because it would be over. I don't like my birthday. I like my birthday Eve. I like Christmas Eve. I like the anticipation. I don't like once I've gotten something. And I think that's probably why I like this career because it never feels like you've made it. Yeah. And you probably sense that too. Any achievement you have, you're like, I did it. And then you wake up the next morning like, okay, what's the next mountain I have to climb? Yeah.
It's so true. So why keep going back to him instead of just trying new guys?
I have tried new guys. And
Okay.
that's the thing is like I go back to him and I feel like it's made me learn like there's not much better out there. Like I think that we break up with people because we go, I deserve better. I want better. And there are things that I did deserve more of. And I think he worked on those things in those years apart. Sometimes, you know, we've been off and on and sometimes it's been a day off. Sometimes it's been a couple weeks, months, years. So we've gone all different distances apart. And I think the last time we broke up, I was like, I had dated some people that made me feel a certain way that I go, well, I haven't felt this way in this relationship ever before. So there's a new bar that you have to raise the bar to get me back. And he did. He raised the bar.
Okay.
And so I was able, he's changed. And they say you can't change a man. And there's many ways in which he hasn't changed and I haven't changed. But there have been like, he's grown. I think it takes men longer to
Definitely does.
work on themselves
It
or like
definitely does.
address some repetitive behavior and things like that.
Okay, but he's working on it.
Yeah.
So that's all you can ask for, I really think, at the end of the day. Like, if you have a guy who's willing to do the work, it says he cares enough about you to do that. Because I think a
Yes.
lot of guys, they won't do it.
I
They
don't-
won't face the music.
I think you're so right. And that's what my girlfriends always say to me whenever I talk about this. They're like, as long as you have a guy that loves you and is willing to do the work.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but what if it's not working? What if the work's not working? As long as they're just still willing to do it?
No, at some point you do have to assess and essentially cut things off.
No, but I think he knows that I'm more emotionally intelligent than him, and that really means a lot to me because it means that he knows he's lacking in an area that he has to grow.
There you go.
So he's, I think he's made an appointment for therapy.
It hasn't actually
I
gone.
haven't. I feel I don't want to check up because I don't want to be like mom energy about it. Like, did you go to your appointment? But
Yeah.
I do remember him making one. So I think he might be seeing someone. And I love
that you won't ask him though. Like,
I can't.
Hey, did you ever see that therapist? How
I
did it
keep
go? Not in a
almost doing
nagging
it.
way, but
I can't. I don't know why because I feel like if he hasn't yet, it's just going to be like I'm pointing out something he's failed at.
I agree. Do you think if he had gone, he would tell you about it?
I feel like I would notice.
You would notice some changes happening.
Yeah. Because I do notice, like he has, he went to lunch with like a girlfriend of his, and which my girlfriends were like, what does she look like? What is it? And I just was like, I don't care. And because I trust him, and he went out, and after that he had like processed so much emotionally because when guys hang out, they're not talking about their feelings, but this girlfriend of his is talking on an emotional level, and he was able to like share some stuff, and I could tell a difference in him, a lightness after he was able to talk about his feelings.
Love
I'm like,
that.
it's hard for them though. They're just not, it's so easy for me to be just frustrated. Like, why don't men want to go to therapy? Why don't they want to talk about their feelings? Why don't they want to cry? Why won't they address their anger? But it's they weren't conditioned to, and this is all a new thing that we're like thrusting on them. And just because Michael Phelps did an ad where he's going to therapy doesn't mean that they can just like
I know.
instantly get it.
I know.
You know?
I'm like, I want that super manly man who's gonna like build me a house, but who's also in touch with his emotions. It's like, oh really?
But not too much, not like
Yeah,
sobbing,
exactly.
but like a single tear.
They're like,
and-
no wonder I'm still single. I'm searching for something that probably doesn't exist.
It's really a hard. It's not easy for them,
No, it's not.
I do realize that it's a tall order. So I'm understanding, but yeah, it's the going back and forth. I don't know how women don't do that and just get back together.
You might be onto something, honestly.
Have you done it?
No. So I've actually never gone back to an ex.
Really?
Yeah. The only time I did was, so I dated Brody Jenner when I first moved up to LA. He was my first boyfriend in LA.
I think everyone has to when they move here.
Well, yeah. I think that's part of it. But so we broke up. We dated for about a year, broke up, and then I went and filmed The Hills years later. And so I was around Brody.
Yes.
And we hooked up one time, but it was lost. It was gone.
Right.
That's the only time in my life I've ever gone back
That's
to an ex.
really impressive.
I know, because I think when I'm just done with someone, like that's it. I'm done. I
Yeah.
lose. It's like a switch goes off, and I have no more feelings for you whatsoever.
That's
I mean, I guess it's
diabolical.
good.
It's good though.
I don't
because
know.
It does suck because I am someone who, do you feel that way in like business decisions and like when you make a decision on something,
That's
even
it.
if you're like struggling with it, once it's done, there's no
done.
looking back?
I'm very decisive. I know what
It's
I like,
great.
what I don't like, and it's just like boom on. And then I never harbor in it. I'm not like, was that the right decision?
You're not
like, no, I just
filled
trust
with
in
regret.
myself. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
really good. That's
It's
something I'm
good.
working on because regret it's such a worthless feeling because
Completely.
you can't go back and change
Nope.
anything. You're mad at yourself for, why was I so dumb? Why did I say that thing? Why didn't I say that thing? And it's like, because you didn't.
Exactly.
You were trying your best in the moment.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you have been trying your best? Of course you were. It wasn't going to happen.
But that's when you learn. So I think instead of being like, God, why was I such an idiot? It's more like, okay, I learned, so next time I won't do the same thing.
But the decisiveness is so good, is such a good quality. And I have that in many ways, but I think that and there have been, every time I break up with him, I do think it's going to be forever.
You do?
Yeah.
So how does it come back together? Like, are you reaching out? Is he reaching out? Has it been a combination?
Yeah, because we always part on kind of good terms where it's like there's hurt there, but it's like, we'll see something that reminds us of each other.
Yeah.
And I think I think that I did get a really good guy early on. Like I found a guy that was meant for me, but we were just not, the timing was wrong. I mean, we all talk about timing of like when we meet in our lives, and I don't think we were right for each other 10 years ago. It was a bad relationship. I was desperate for a boyfriend. I had never really had a boyfriend before. I'd had like long distance things, or I would pursue a guy with a girlfriend who I knew I couldn't have because I was scared of intimacy, and I was scared of someone liking me because I didn't like myself. And I still struggle with that. But I am now, I've grown to a place where I am more comfortable with someone actually loving me, and he has turned into someone, because I don't think he shouldn't have loved me back then. I was just desperate. I would have taken any kind of, not that he was abusive or anything, but I would have taken anything because I just wanted a boyfriend. Yeah. And I wanted him, and he was like this prize that I got. And then I think eventually he now like loves me so. I've never been loved in this way, and it's uncomfortable for me.
Oh, it's sweet. Because you don't love yourself? Is that what it is?
Yeah, because I struggle with that. Like no matter how much success I have or how much therapy I do, I have like chronic low self-esteem that comes back in, and I can push it down and let in the good. I'm not like miserable all the time, but yeah, I question people who like me too much, because it's like, well then what's wrong with you?
Wow.
It's strange.
That kills me.
I know, it sucks.
Well, so there is this stereotype, obviously, with comedians that really they're all super insecure. I mean, I've met my fair share of comedians, so I can really shed a little light on it, but obviously this is your world. What's your take on that? So do you think that most of them
dead
are?
On. I think all of them are. And if you're not, what are you doing this for? Because this is a weird profession that you first of all, having a sense of humor is I believe it is an adaptation to get people to like you when you feel like you're inherently unlikable. Yeah. So I don't look the way I want to look. I'm not the status I want to be. So if I become the class clown, people won't pay attention to the fact that I'm whatever, poor, fat, like whatever, like ugly. I think that I developed my sense of humor not because my family's super funny. They are, like, all the things. I have all the things that goes, oh, that person would be funny. But I think my sense of humor really comes from a place of, I'm not enough if I don't have an extra talent, an extra gimmick. Right. Like I got to get people to like me by being charming, and I think that's why I like being a nice person. I am a nice person, but and you're a nice person. You're so pretty to be as nice as you are,
sweet.
Because you don't need to be.
You're
like
so
when
sweet.
You're that pretty, you don't really need to be.
No one thought I was nice a long time ago. I've had to really work on that.
Well, you are, and I can just from even before we began, like I just sense it that you're a kind person, and that's an adaptation because you want love and you want to get it back. So you have to do it. If you don't, so there has to be. I do believe that comedians, when they say they love themselves and have so much bravado, it's a lie to me, or I just don't think they're funny. I just don't think that's possible.
But see, it's fascinating to me because for me, getting up on stage and being vulnerable, because I mean, you guys are vulnerable. You're talking about your real lives. You're pulling from your real lives for your material. That to me is the scariest thing on the planet.
Yes.
So I'm always like, but you have to have some sort of confidence to get up on that stage.
You're not
and
wrong.
Be yourself.
I think we're narcissists. Like there's a narcissism of like, I know that I am angry.
Holy shit, you're blowing my mind right now, actually.
Yeah. Like my if I'm going to my darkest place, I know that I should have been born prettier and more.
You are the prettiest.
I'm prettier.
You're the gorgeous, but like you are easily the prettiest comedian.
I know this sounds ridiculous. I want to say that I acknowledge my pretty privilege and all the things. Like I definitely. I'm not saying I'm an uggo or anything like that. I'm just speaking from a place of like my truth, which is I had a really beautiful sister and I felt like invisible around her. And I did not figure out how to do makeup and like spray tans and stuff until so late. So this is all kind of new. And I was just kind of like average, which is fine. And But I felt resentful that, I know that I deserve to have all the attention on me. And I don't get why that girl gets it because she was born looking like that and I don't, it's not fair. And so there is a narcissism in that of like, I deserve attention.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, you have, it's contradictory, but I think, but narcissism at the
core
is insecurity.
They're the most insecure people on the planet. I will say though, you're not a narcissist because you're willing to like admit that there is narcissism.
I'm not
there.
like a full-blown narcissist.
You're not full-blown because
but
all
I have
narcissists
traits.
are like, you are, I'm not, you
they
are.
Can't, they're like, that's what's fascinating about narcissists. They are incurable. Because to be able to cure it, you have to want to change, and they don't want to change because they're perfect. And as much as you'll tell a girl dating a narcissist, like, but at the core of it, he's insecure. It doesn't help because he's never going to see it, even though,
and it takes a long time to see it too, because obviously they're the most charming people on the planet at first.
Oh yeah,
they're con artists,
and they shine the light that they want on themselves on you, and so they look at you the way they look at themselves because they see like almost an extension of themselves in you, and it's the greatest feeling.
We could do an entire hour on narcissists. I've had a few in my life, and even my dad, and I had to cut my dad out of my life. And for a long time, that's what I was dating because that was what I knew.
Of course.
It wasn't until the last like 3 years I've been like, holy shit. Like,
what are the red flags for you now?
Well, so I know it's so interesting because people ask me that and I'm like, it's really hard to tell at first. But I will say the one, I think, way you can really tell is if you guys are having a heated conversation or you're like, hey, this kind of bugged me or whatever, if they immediately turn it around on you, like, here's an example. So I was dating one guy who was extremely busy and I was like, listen, like, why don't you just call me when things die down? Like, clearly this isn't a good time for you. He's like, oh, well, if you can just walk away that easily. It's like, what? How about acknowledging what's really happening instead of putting that on me?
Yes.
So I think like it's the gaslighting.
Okay.
Gaslighting is a surefire way to tell when someone is a narcissist.
And the love bombing, does that happen? Was your dad like that? Would he like tell you how amazing you were?
But not all the time. It was like when it suited him,
Right.
I actually went out with another guy, went on 2 dates with a guy, got so fucking love bombed where it was out here, it was in LA. Mm-hmm. You're amazing. Oh my God. I could see us together, blah, blah, blah. Leave a ring. He had me leave a ring, put it on his little keychain, took a picture, sent it to me, all this shit. Next time you come, like, let's start going out in public together, like, blah, blah. I'm like, whoa, oh my God. I went home to Nashville and I was like, what the fuck just happened? And again, it's like, run. If someone is like, and also I think.
So he didn't get a chance to hurt you. You like got out before?
Thank God. I think, I do think, because that's what I've been working on the last few years. I've had so many tests from the universe of like, are you sure you're not going to fall for the narcissist again? So I've had quite a few. And this is one of them. And thank God it was like 2 dates, like maybe 9 days of my life wasted, but like whatever.
But you know what? It's like, you probably, I mean, I guess I'm projecting here, but when people come on too strong in the beginning, I'm like, you don't know me.
You don't know me.
So this is just not normal. We all want to believe in love at first sight, and we just knew the second we met, and we all want to get wrapped up in that story of how we first met, and when the guy is taking the picture of your ring and sending it to you and all these things, it's like, oh, this is part of our story. We just knew right away.
I know.
But it's suspect because he doesn't know you. Exactly. No matter how many times he's watched you on TV or watched a podcast.
It's different.
Like, they feel
I believe
like
in like a TV crush.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I had someone back in the day who was like, oh, I just have like a TV crush on you. And I was like, okay, yeah, like that's a real thing.
Yeah.
But no one is their image or their TV persona. I mean, there's bits and pieces.
Yeah.
I mean, like you meet people and you're like, oh, you're totally different than what I was expecting.
Yes. Oh my gosh. Especially with actors. I mean, you are falling for a character, but I'm always like, why can't you be that character?
No.
You were once.
Can someone write you the lines?
For a couple seasons.
Yeah, I know.
Can't you just be that guy?
Not at all.
Yeah.
Actors are such a letdown.
They're boring.
They're such a letdown.
They're so serious about playing
they're always tiny. They're tiny.
So much tinier.
You think these guys who are like buff and just like super masculine and manly? Oh no, they're itty bitty.
That's so true. Yeah. And they're theater geeks, which is fine. Like, but they taking acting as seriously as actors do when they're in Riverdale or something, and you're like, I'm sorry, I can't. You're not Daniel Day-Lewis.
No.
This is. No. It's too much.
I'm like, don't meet your idols. Like, don't meet any actor. You're going to be really disappointed.
It is disappointing.
It's disappointing.
Okay, for all of my single parents out there,
I have something really exciting to talk to you about, and that is Stir, which is the #1 dating app designed for single parents. A place where you can leave the kids at home, but you don't have to leave them out of the conversation. Does anyone else feel like summer is the busiest time? Once the kids are back in school, you finally actually get some breathing room and some time for yourself. So this fall, why not use that time to try Stir? On Stir, they know that for single parents, time is precious, limited, and unpredictable. That's why they built an app for meaningful connections with someone who not only gets your life, but lives it themselves. Where there just might be a reason to want more sleepless nights, it's just about finding the right one. On Stir, they know that nothing comes before your kids, but a lot of great things can happen after. After snack time, homework time, bedtime, let it be your time on Stir. The app is free to join so that you can start connecting with others right away. And they have this unique feature, which is called Stir Time, to help coordinate your busy schedules up front and streamline scheduling a date. That's like music to my ears because I'm so type A. This fall, make the time for yourself on Stir. Stir is the dating app where single parents pair up. Go to stir.com/go today to get 25% off any Stir subscription package, or send to your single friends to try it out. That's stir.com/go. Okay, a brand I love and I'm excited to talk to you guys about is the cleaning products Branch Basics. They are non-toxic, hyperallergenic, free of fragrance, hormone disruptors, and harmful preservatives. They're baby kid and pet safe, clean, and cost-effective. You can add your personal touch of using Branch Basics around your kiddos and furry friends. Their premium starter kit is awesome. It'll provide you with everything you need to replace all of your toxic cleaning products in your home. They have this awesome refill model, so once you run out, the only thing you need to repurchase is the concentrate and oxygen boost, because then you just mix it with water. So easy. If you or anyone in your house suffers from eczema, allergies, or asthma, you're definitely going to want to make the switch to Branch Basics. I think it's really easy to forget that all of the stuff in our houses can be so full of toxins, really harmful ingredients, and cleaning supplies is a huge area where I think a lot of people don't even think about it, but they can be literally making you guys sick. Obviously, if you have kids and or pets, this is super important because babies are on the floor, pets are on the floor, while we maybe aren't like playing and sitting on the floor all of the time, all of the little people in our house are. So we want to make sure that even our floor cleaner and everything else is also toxin-free. Save 15% and get free shipping on your starter kit when you use code Let's Be Honest at www.branchbasics.com. Again, that's code Let's Be Honest for 15% off plus free shipping when you purchase a starter kit.
I tend to, when I have been single, I tend to gravitate towards people that I do know from like having a TV crush or like a podcast crush or something, because I get really nervous about like first dates, or I don't know. I just
you do.
Yeah, I want to know someone. I want to already know I want to have sex with you before we even go on a first date, because I don't want to disappoint you.
It's worthless.
Yeah, and it's worthless to me and you.
Well, like, why am I here if I don't even want to fuck you?
And I feel like for me to want to have sex with someone, I have to like know them a little bit, and the illusion of knowing them through seeing them on, the Kelly Clarkson show, an interview they did, is like enough for me to go, okay, I like the way his mouth moves. I like the way his hands. Yeah, I like the way he dressed. Like, and you can kind of have a familiarity
to them because they're hot, whatever.
And that is a great thing about being, I think, a celebrity, is that you can kind of get to know someone a little bit, because my friends who are not in the business, like when they go on a date with someone, it's like they just have to like find old, maybe an old MySpace photo, or like or like Instagram, and it's like, but I can watch them on the Tonight Show. I can like see interviews or podcasts, and you can go.
It is true. That is true. I do think, especially with guys, I don't think guys are actually that photogenic. Watching an interview that they've done, that's when you can tell. Actually,
You're so right.
That's what happened with a comedian that I dated.
Yes.
I looked at his photos and I was like, I don't know. I watched a couple interviews. I was like, wait, he's actually so hot.
Yes.
One of the most gorgeous guys I've ever seen.
Agreed.
I mean, I think
I know who you're talking about. Yeah. And yes, he is one of the hottest people
and
that's
you would
ever.
never, like in person, because he's like 6'4". I mean, he's gorgeous. And he's the sweetest guy too. But yeah, I just think with guys, like you can never really tell.
Yeah.
They're not photogenic.
Well, their friends don't take pictures of them like our friends do.
That's true.
They haven't learned their lighting. They
true.
don't know how to pose. And
also a guy who's posting a bunch of just like selfies and shit.
It's insane.
I'm like, no, I'm not. Yeah, I'm good.
That's gross too. If they like know their angles and
or like
stuff.
the shirtless picture in the mirror. I'm like, well, no, sorry.
Exactly.
Can't
So
do it.
like they're kind of at a deficit there in terms of like what they can put out there for us to be like lusting over them. Because no guy is ever with his guy friend being like, oh my God, the light right now with your eyes, just stand still. We have girlfriends like helping us out and being like, you need to get this.
Good right now.
You need to get it. Like, I'm not even going to let you not do this. Yeah.
If a guy did, he'd be like, what? Shut the fuck up. Like in the middle of a restaurant.
So guys just have like one picture a year. It's like, that's why they have the picture of them catching a fish. It's the only time they're like, we should photograph this. Like it's a trope on those, on Tinder or whatever, but that's their yearly photo that they take.
It's true. No, that's
it's like
when
they catch a fish.
Okay, I want to talk about you dating because I feel like you must be so intimidating for guys because you're beautiful, you're funny. The way you carry yourself does scream confident to me, but also you get a lot of attention. Guys cannot handle girls getting a lot of attention. It takes a very secure man to be like, yeah, do your thing, having people come up to you, taking photos. Well,
you deal with it too.
Yes, I do.
And you are we can talk about like the intimidation of being a comedian and just being kind of like funny, which is a masculine trait that men kind of pride themselves on. But being with a woman like you who is a desire. I mean, I was on the way here and I talked to my boyfriend. I was like, I'm doing Kristin Cavallari's podcast, and he was like, oh, she's an all-timer for me.
Are you serious?
And I go, can I say that? And he goes like, yeah. And I even wrote him, I go, what did you say? She was in your all-time? And he goes, no, she's an all-timer. That means
sweet.
No matter at what age she is, it will always be an all-timer.
Well, give me 20 years.
No.
Like, oh.
You're so many people's all-timers. And like everyone I've talked to is just, you're just a stunning woman that is desirable by many, like men and women. And that men want to achieve that and go, I got this trophy. This girl that everyone has lusted over for so many fucking years. But then they also, there's people lusting over you, and can they handle that? And
I'd say most cannot. It's been a huge, not even just like men lusting over me, but just like
the attention.
Yeah. It seems as though like everything in my life has been a threat. And I think I give off this energy of like, I don't need you because I don't need a man. But if I want you, isn't that way more important? But
yes.
A lot of guys can't handle that.
They want to be needed.
Guys want to be needed. I will stand by that statement.
It's
till the day
really
I die.
smart, and it's not wrong because they used to be. Like that's like in their DNA that we needed them to go like hunt and provide, and like now there's Erewhon. Like we don't need you.
We don't need a man. Thank you,
we really
Erewhon.
don't. And there's even to have a baby, you don't need a man anymore. You can just go to a lab or whatever. It's like, so it must feel, a little debilitating to have that taken from you. But I feel the same thing of, those are conflicts that I've had in my relationships of, I don't fit into your, I've had to be reminded to make room for my boyfriend because I am so self-sufficient. I've been on my own for so long that I forget that, I can't take this 9 months of gigs because we might have like a wedding to go to together, or he might have like a thing he wants me to. I'm like, I have to hold a date in February for a trip. I don't take vacations, and like I've never had to, and now he's enriching my life by like making me do those things. You need to have
some balance.
But he had to be like, you have to like, in a relationship, you have to consider someone else and maybe check with me about a schedule before you answer yes to a year tour.
Right. I know.
Like I'll be good about it, but like maybe include me. And it's like, whoa, like someone else besides myself. And I do think that, the being funny, like my boyfriend, and I think that's why I've gone back to my boyfriend so often too, is because he never tries to censor me. He's never like offended by my jokes or like, because being funny it's masculine. And so it can be kind of like, we're supposed to like, as women, just like,
exactly,
like dainty and kind of be quieter.
Yep.
And men are supposed to be like the funny ones and the party animals and the center of attention. And so he likes to just sit back and just like, I just love when he's just like, oh God,
I love
Glaze.
that.
Like just like when he's kind of just like embarrassed but can't help but laugh.
But like actually loves it.
Yes.
I think that's really sweet.
And he lets me talk about our relationship in spaces like this on stage. I mean, he's given me parameters of like, he said, as long as it's funny and as long you can say whatever you want, as long as it's funny. But where I get into trouble,
it's gonna be funny.
Is sometimes when I'm on a podcast, it's not funny, and I'm just like, I'm just like venting, and I'm like, okay, well, I need to add a punchline to that to get away with what I just said. But I don't think I've actually dated men who I've even referenced them, not even by name, and they've been so affronted by any mention. And I'm like, shouldn't you be happy that
you're welcome?
Yeah.
You're welcome. I included you.
Aren't you bragging to people that you're dating me? That's where I've been like so confused as men sometimes want to like keep it secret. And I'm like, but you're dating me. Like tell everyone. And they're like, no, I haven't decided yet.
It's so funny. I would imagine that every guy you've ever dated is like, oh, is she going to use any of this in her stand-up?
And that's fair because I would. And I would have in the past. I think now I'm in my late 30s. I'm in my latest 30, to be honest. The latest one you can be in. If I say late 30s, it might be 36. It's like I get 3 years. But I'm 39 and it's like I've been doing comedy for 20 years. And when I first started, it didn't matter who it would hurt. I didn't even consider other people's feelings because...
Well, to be fair, that's when you should be selfish and just you're building your career. Like, do you?
I burn bridges along the way and I've mended all of them, I think, but I definitely did not consider, again, like talking about my schedule and not considering other people. I had struggles with empathy of like, well, I wouldn't care if I'm talking about my sex. If I'm talking about my sex life, I'm in it too. So exactly. If I don't care, he shouldn't care that I'm talking about this thing that happened to us having sex.
Would you say their real names?
I mean, I would be like my boyfriend.
Okay,
and so it would be, so now I've changed it to like ex-boyfriend because it's true for him.
Even if it's
still
about
him.
Oh my God.
Because he's in my ex
You're not
now
lying.
Too. Now I'll kind of like hide it. But it's funny that I've just always operated from this place of like, you know, I didn't realize I lacked empathy in a lot of ways. And it's just how you're raised. Like and you can learn it because I've wanted to, because I want to be a compassionate person. But just because I feel a certain way doesn't mean other people do. And that I didn't learn that until I was like 30 of like.
By the way, same with me. I had zero empathy when I was younger and I was an asshole.
Yeah.
I broke people's hearts. I didn't care. I mean, I was a dick.
I'm over it. So why aren't you over it?
Yeah. What do you mean? Move on.
Yeah. You're still hung up on me. Yeah.
Yeah. I had to learn that too. And honestly, I think it was becoming a mom more than anything. I was like, because you have to have empathy and compassion and all of a sudden.
No, you don't.
Well,
some don't.
Does.
But you did. But that's so nice that you realized.
Opened up my whole world for that.
Was it just like seeing them be upset about like a rock they dropped, and you're like, okay, even though this is just a fucking pebble,
fucking rock,
but I have to go, oh, that's sad that the rock dropped, and like put yourself in the shoes of a 3-year-old who doesn't understand gravity.
Exactly, because you have to just get on their level and have empathy.
That's interesting.
Otherwise, they start to question their reality, and I think having a narcissistic dad. Okay,
Same.
So that's what. So you start to like live in this delusion of like, am I crazy? I shouldn't be feeling this way. Like
your feelings
as
are
a
wrong.
Kid, you need someone to validate your feelings.
That's all you need. And
I
had great parents, but they weren't the best at doing that. And I always have to say the caveat if they're watching this, like, I love you. You did your best. Like you were 25 though, and you didn't learn how to have empathy from your parents. And so I got a lot of, what are you crying about? Like, get over this. And it was ridiculous, whatever. I'd be hurling myself on the floor about. Logically it is dumb, but I was a child and they didn't put themselves in like a child's brain.
Exactly.
And so I struggle with that. And even it's just so strange how it just stays with you forever. Of like, anytime
Everything
I'm upset about something, I'm like, this is dumb that I'm upset about it. And I can't cry. I don't cry. It's so strange.
Same. Well, I think I get the sense that you too, like we were the tough girls. It was like, okay, we like developed into these tough girls, and I've had to learn like it's okay to be sad. It's okay to sit in that, and it's been a hard thing for me to learn how to do.
Yes.
But you know, the flip side too is like I'm actually happy that I was a survivor. It was like I was gonna figure shit out.
Yes.
I was tough, and I think that actually helped me in a lot of situations. So it's like, you know, I've chosen to just look at the positives out of it rather than like, fuck, man, that was brutal growing up.
No, it's like, I don't know if you've processed this, but even in therapy, I'll think back on like how I was thinking when I was around like 3 to 5 and like the memories that I have.
Because I've blacked everything out.
I have like a couple memories and they were the same thought process that I have now about things of like kind of being a little bit smarter than the people, like kind of realizing around me, like, that seems weird. She's acting like that. And I'm just going to stay or like, just, I I had the same internal monologue, and I think it was like I just had to grow up a little bit faster, like you're saying. And I'm grateful for that because it has made me be able to. I wouldn't be a comedian if I hadn't have been the firstborn child to two parents who kind of didn't know exactly what they were doing emotionally.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. See, we just got to be thankful for our journeys, I think, for sure. Okay.
But like, speaking of that guy you dated, can I just share this? Because this is so interesting to me. The comedian that you dated, he's someone that
Should we say his name? I never know.
No.
Okay,
because
okay.
I just don't want trouble because we're not talking.
Agreed. By the way, okay, we'll go. Say what you're going to say.
I love this guy.
He's great.
He is so funny. He is so attractive.
Yes.
I have always had a crush on him. He is always, and one time, we made out one time.
I swear he had a crush on you too.
Well, that's so nice.
You guys did make out. Maybe he
because
told me that.
I forced it. I used to do this thing, Kristin, where, okay, because I never waited for boys to kiss me because I just wanted control. I'm like, I'm running things.
Okay.
And so I just remember we were hanging out a ton and I was like, there must be a vibe here. And I think he was just obliged me. But I used to do this thing, like if I felt like it was like time for us to kiss and the guy wasn't going to make a move, I remember we were walking down 6th Avenue and it was like, this is like 2010, maybe. It was forever ago. And I was like, oh my gosh, you know what I forgot to tell you? And he's like, what? I'm like, we should make out. Like
I would love you.
I would just say it casually.
I want to do that.
It's fun. If anyone out there listening wants a good icebreaker of like,
I love this.
Because then they laugh and then you're like, okay, I guess we should. And it's not just like, I was like leaning in and having a weird rejection. They can kind of just go, I don't know if that's a good idea. And then maybe that's an easier. So I think we made out for like 2 seconds. And, me back then, this was like right before I quit drinking too. So I was just the biggest mess that I could have been. And I used to just like fantasize about what this would be. I thought that kiss, I'm like, we're going to be boyfriend and girlfriend. And then
married.
It definitely wasn't that. And to no fault of his, it was just, that wasn't the vibe. And he should not have liked me. I was a mess. And then throughout the years, we would become friends again. And then there's a couple guys in my life that I really can't be friends with because they're dreamy and I start to just kind of like have crushes on them. I just know my boundary. Like,
Smart.
and I just will always like them more than friends.
Yeah.
Not always because I'm like in a relationship, but I'm sorry. Like even in a relationship, you can have crushes and I don't need that messing up my life. And I just, even though I was single, so the last time this guy, 10 years after that kiss, we started hanging out again and I was kind of rebounding from a relationship and he was fresh out of something with you.
Oh.
The one thing with you.
Years ago.
Yes, a couple years ago. Yes.
And because we dated for like 5-6 months and it was like, he was my first, I guess you could say boyfriend after my divorce.
Yeah.
He's actually been the only guy I would consider to be like the closest thing to a boyfriend since my divorce. And I mean, I was crazy about him. He was the perfect guy to date post-divorce because he was so fucking sweet to me. He was funny. He was fun. Like all my friends loved him. Like we just had so much fun.
Yeah.
But then I needed to like really work through my shit because I hadn't yet. So again, timing is everything. It just wasn't the right time.
Right. And that is exactly what it sounded like from his point of view too. There was like no animosity. It was just like heartbreak. But I would talk to him about, and I love you. So I even was like, oh, I'm gonna be the rebound for this guy right after Kristin. Maybe I can still taste her. Like a strawberry wine song. So there was nothing in me that was like, get over her. Like I was just like, oh, I can help. Because he is my friend. And so we would talk about, and I was getting through something too. So it was nice to share about, but it just was, I could just tell it was like still a thing. And so that was the moment. That's when I was like, I can't be and I think he's still very hurt by that because he is just like, what do you mean you can't be friends with me? And I feel like
so you guys are not friends currently.
No, I saw him recently at a show and there was just, I just said I can't. And he would probably have a different story of like, you were really rude and abrupt with me because I think I was probably hurt by the fact that he didn't want to date me in the way that I wanted to be dated.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that I'm making it sound like I was just like, I just said I can't be friends. You're too cute. But it was probably me being like, I was probably a little pissy about it. Yeah. So I think he was just offended, and so now we're like not talking, and that kind of sucks because I do like him, but he's too dreamy. He's got to like.
He's one of the most good-looking men on the planet. It's true. I mean, I would literally look at pictures of him and be like, "What the fuck? What the actual fuck?"
It's crazy.
Pet lovers, you're gonna want to listen up. If you haven't tried the farmer's dog by now, I'm not sure what's going on with you because I feel like everybody has been making the switch, and for good reason. The results of switching your dog's food from kibble to fresh can seem like magic. When a senior dog starts acting like a puppy again and the pickiest of eaters can't wait for dinner time, you might think some spells were cast. But the farmer's dog doesn't use any sorcery or secret ingredients to make their fresh food, just science. The farmer's dog makes and delivers fresh, healthy dog food. It's developed by vets, nutritionally balanced, and made from real healthy ingredients to human food safety standards. It's the best option for dogs at all life stages because it's not kibble, it's not canned goo, it's just real healthy food. A healthy diet isn't just important for humans, it's also important for our dogs. I have 2 dogs. I have Kona, a German Shepherd, who's, she's almost 10, which is crazy. And then I have a puppy, Quinn, my little Bernedoodle, who is just over a year. You guys, I don't know what they are putting in the farmer's dog, but my dogs go bananas for this stuff. Like as I'm getting it ready, cutting open the little pouch, putting it in their bowls, they are both drooling. Like I've never seen this before, and they devour it in 2 seconds. It's actually quite funny to watch. Get 50% off your first box of fresh, healthy food at thefarmersdog.com/honest. Plus, you get free shipping. Just go to thefarmersdog.com/honest. Go to thefarmersdog.com/honest to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. Fashionistas, let's chat about the clothing brand Loft. Loft has really cute, trendy pieces. The pieces touch all of the season's most relevant trends and are always offered at a great price, which we love. There are fun pant silhouettes to choose from, flirty tops, midi skirts, sweater dresses, and really fun outerwear that's perfect for fall, which I'm currently obsessed with. New arrivals drop all the time, so you're going to want to be sure to check them out constantly. They're introducing Loft Cashmere, which launches October 19th for everybody. They're adding a bit more luxe to their line. This is their kind of soft launch. They'll be offering not only 100% cashmere sweaters in a range of silhouettes and colors, but also matching sets, hats, scarves, and socks. They're also doing gift guide launches. So this holiday season, Loft can be your go-to check everybody off of your list destination. Give gifts galore, both in-store and online. Shop a mix of gifts under $35, festive finds, merry sweaters. You guys, I'm telling you, Loft is back and they are better than ever. Right now, they have a fall collection of fun, feminine fashion. And as a thank you for listening, from now through January 1st, 2024, use code HONEST at loft.com to receive $25 off your full price purchase. Exclusions apply. See podcast description for terms. So I want to tell you guys about this underwear that I'm obsessed with. I just can't keep it to myself. It's too good. It's the Fits Everybody collection by Skims, and I feel like it's their best kept secret. The feeling is like no other underwear I've worn before. It's so stretchy and soft, it kind of just melts onto your body and you forget that you're even wearing it. I love it, and I think everyone should experience this level of comfort. I've been wearing Skims for a few months now, and I just recently tried the Fits Everybody collection. And you guys, not to be dramatic, but it's truly life-changing. I'm a huge fan. My favorite piece is my Fits Everybody thong. It's so comfortable. I'm so obsessed with the thongs that I'm literally going to throw out all the other ones that I have and replace all of them with Fits Everybody. Skims is creating the next generation of underwear for everybody. Not only am I obsessed with the t-shirt bra and the thongs, but I sleep in the boy shorts every single night. Literally, I can't say enough good stuff about these pieces, you guys. The Fits Everybody collection of underwear is super lightweight and molds to your body. The buttery soft fabric stretches to twice its size without ever losing shape, meaning you get a perfect fit every single time. It's available in sizes extra, extra small to 4X. Believe the hype, you guys. Skims has over 100,000 five-star reviews, and for a good reason. The Fits Everybody collection and more perfect fit essentials are available now at skims.com. Plus, get free shipping on orders over $75. After you place your order, be sure to let them know that I sent you. Select podcast in the survey and be sure to select my show in the drop-down menu that follows.
We're on tour so much.
I don't know
it's so
how
insane.
you guys do it.
I don't either. I don't really get how we. It's impressive that I'm ever able to have a relationship at all.
I mean, it's true. Will he go and visit you in different cities?
Yeah. He actually is a TV producer. That's how I met him. But he's actually working in radio now. So my boyfriend and I met in New York when he was a producer on my first TV show that I had on MTV in 2013, and I had a crush on him. And he was just a producer on the show, and I had this I didn't even know how to handle it. I was so in love with him, but I couldn't look at him. I started ignoring him because I just couldn't.
That's what you do.
Yeah. And he thought the host of the show hated him, so he was looking for other jobs because he was it's miserable at work.
So it was that bad?
My host won't even look at me because I was just so. I thought if I ever
nervous
looked at him, he would know.
Yeah.
How much I loved him. So I would just ignore him. So one day, my friend, I was crying in my showrunner's office, and she had hired him. She was friends with him from a different gig, and she knew I liked him, and I was sobbing and about he was talking to the wardrobe girl today, and it was flirty, and she was laughing. She goes, he doesn't know you like him. I've never even seen you talk to him. She was like, you need to flirt with him. And I was like, I don't know how to do that. And she was like, okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go over to his cubicle right now. You're going to touch his leg at least 3 times. You're going to hold eye contact with him for longer than 3 seconds. And you're going to talk about a plan this weekend, and you're going to invite him to that. And I can follow an assignment. I was perfect.
You went from nothing
because someone gave me someone told me what to do. And she was kind of like my boss in a way.
Yeah.
So it felt this all sounds really Me Too reverse. She instructed me. My boss told me to go flirt with someone, but I didn't know how to do it. I think I was just so stunted. I didn't have a boyfriend till I was 24. I didn't have sex till I was 21. I was drank a lot before this. I had just gotten sober, so I didn't really know how to even have a guy that in a sober way. The only way I'd ever hooked up with a guy before was because I was wasted. Because I was so nervous, and I didn't kiss boys in high school. I never had a boy. I was the last of all my girlfriends to have a boyfriend, and so I was boy crazy, but I had nowhere to put it.
Yeah.
And so and then we got together, and he's from St. Louis. I'm from St. Louis. I live in St. Louis.
Oh.
I moved back for COVID to be
and you did your show on E about it.
And I just stayed there.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and then he's also from St. Louis, just oddly enough. And we were broken up during COVID, for years at that point, a couple years. And then we both moved back home for different reasons. Me, because I was I don't know where to go, mommy, daddy. And he got a job in radio, and we moved back and we started hanging out as friends.
Wow.
And that was the point where I was okay, I've dated someone and I was in love in a way that we have not been in love before. And so I can't do this again because I expect a new type of love.
Yeah.
And so he rose to the occasion. And you know what, Kristin, what is really good about what we did, and I advise most women to do this.
Tell me.
I read a book called Getting to I Do years ago that Whitney Cummings had recommended to me, and I was obsessed with it. All my friends have read it, and I've
never even heard of this book.
They're engaged.
Should I be reading this?
It's so interesting.
Okay.
Just from a psychological, sociological standpoint of how women and men's brains work. But the really big principle of the book is that you don't sleep with them until you are getting what you want out of this relationship in terms of a commitment.
I fucking believe this.
Don't let their penis in you in any way.
It's so true. I think obviously there's always exceptions to this because I
agree.
I have slept with guys probably sooner than I have, and they've turned out to be boyfriends and stuff. But I have had one guy in my life where I know I slept with him too soon, and I've never been able to have the power, and that drives me fucking crazy.
Yep. It's it's the one thing. It sucks that because I think the whole book, the premise of the book is predicated on the fact that the women's movement did so much for us and empowered us in so many ways to be financially independent and just, to be independent in so many ways. But it also we're too masculine.
Yeah.
And men don't want that. And so there's a lot of the book of don't say I think, say I feel. Because men love feelings. They don't like thinking. And you don't ask a man how he feels. Men love your feelings. They don't like their feelings. So we all get it mixed up that men hate feelings. They love to hear women's feelings and nurture your feelings, but they don't want to hear what you think. So if I say like, I feel we should take this way to the restaurant tonight. Like if I'm offering directions, I think is like taking their masculinity from them. And don't ask them like, what do you feel we should eat tonight? Say, what do you think we should?
Okay.
It's little things like that are fascinating. But the big thing is like, don't have sex with them until not necessarily like, it's different for every girl, but what most women are after is commitment, like something long term, something. There's like a bunch. There's like 4 different like tenets that you are supposed to.
Right. I guess if you're looking at a guy and you're like, I don't see him as my future, whatever, and you just want to have some fun, like who gives a shit? Sleep with him whenever you want,
but also be careful because we like our oxytocin shoots off. If we have an orgasm, it takes like something like. It's maybe more than 10 times the amount of oxytocin it takes for a man to have orgasm. So it's like doing a whippet. Like it's a drug.
It is.
Or your brain fires off things that is addiction related.
I've never been able to just casually sleep with anybody.
Me neither.
In fact, I'm 36 years old. I just had my first one night stand of my entire life.
Wow. How did that happen?
It was in
how
Miami.
are you doing?
I met a guy who had just moved here from Spain, and I was like, oh, you're so cute. Like his cute little accent and everything. Had the best night of my life, but it was like so romantic and sweet. Like it was very sweet.
There wasn't anything after it?
No, I was like, I'm in love with this man. And he was in love with me. And then I came home and I was like, what am I doing? Because like I have 3 kids, okay?
Yes.
My life is like very stable and normal, like my day to day.
Yes.
So all of a sudden I'm like picturing this guy who's like fresh off the boat.
And you're trying to get him a work visa.
I don't see him
here.
as like the stepfather to my kids.
Yes.
I was like, what am I doing?
But you bonded that night in that way. So you had a little bit of like a withdrawal symptoms from it probably.
God. For like a couple days, it was like the love notes back and forth. I was like, this is my guy. And then it was just I like snapped out of it. It was like I got my kids back and I was like,
you seem like really level headed. You could let yourself go, but you seem to be able to rescue yourself from these.
I'm good at rescuing myself, but I do love love. So it's easy for me to like get wrapped up in it.
Yeah, it's the best. That's another reason why I'm scared of marriage because you'll never fall in love again. I know that people are like, no, you can still have crushes on boys on the delivery man at work. I'm like, but
which I think you can.
Sure, but a crush is worthless to me if I don't see an end to it. And I can't possibly imagine an end to something if I'm in a monogamous relationship with someone. I feel guilty even like masturbating to the idea of being like not guilty, but I just feel like not guilty, but I'd rather not because for me fantasizing is like pathetic. Like I want that. I achieve everything I fantasize about.
Well, fuck, I love that.
So like when I was a kid and was like, I want to be on TV, my friends were just like, yeah, we all do. But I was like, no, I'm going to.
Yes.
And they were like, yeah, right.
So you're like the ultimate manifester then.
Yeah, like I don't look at something I don't like fantasy. I've never liked it. They have to like be single for me to fantasize about that. Like they have to be like achievable.
Okay, 100% with you on that. It has to be like an attainable fantasy. But I love flirting. I think it keeps the blood pumping.
Totally.
Like, I'm all about a little fantasy. I think when you are in a long-term relationship, like I know I had like little innocent crushes and then they go away and you're like, that was so dumb.
Yes, it was so dumb. And there's no way that I would leave my partner, the stable thing for this guy that just seems good because why wouldn't he seem good?
Exactly.
I just met him.
Yeah, you don't know anything about this guy.
Nothing.
So of course he seems great.
Yes.
But it's fleeting. It all goes away.
I
but
know.
I do think I think it's kind of fun.
I agree. And I want for my part, I kind of like when my boyfriend has like I wouldn't even mind if he hooked up with another girl. This is a wild thing that's gonna
really?
it's gonna make it sound like I'm trying to be like a cool girl or like I am just so quirky, but I don't know why I haven't really found any other women that there is a fetish called hot husband that is women like me who don't mind the idea of their man with another woman and are like turned on by it because I don't look at sex or sexual attraction as necessarily as like it's separate than like I don't want him to watch the Succession finale with another girl. That would be hurtful to me if he started a new series like Love Is Blind, new season.
Yeah,
but if he was to get intimate with someone. like, I don't want him like going down on her and like making love and like eye contact, but like,
he can
just
fuck her.
getting off. It's like if he went and played tennis with someone. To me, it's just like, that's how I look at it. And I know that this, and I'm not telling women like, you should be like me. And by the way, men don't actually like this because they kind of like being kept. They like a woman to be like, stay away.
Yeah.
Because my boyfriend has he could go do whatever he wants. And guess he doesn't do it at all because he has the freedom to.
Exactly.
And he knows it's not like forbidden. Not that he ever would because he's a loyal guy, but it doesn't make him go, okay, I will.
It's because when you give someone a lot of freedom, it makes them stay.
Yeah.
It's the people that try to control the other person. They're just like, let me go.
Yes.
But I agree with you because I think for men, sex is obviously so different.
They
can have sex with someone and literally never think of them again.
Exactly.
Where we're like, when's he going to text me? When's he like, I'm so connected to him now.
I can't
like,
get a massage without being like, are you going to call? Like, it's like, I truly, after massages, I have like a depression because I'm like, she just kicked me out, handed me a glass of water, and now I'm like out in the hot sun again, like trying to find my car, and I'm just like, this is reminiscent of my like early 20s. I do.
Triggered.
I can't.
Cool.
I do get foot massages now because I'm not naked and it's not too intimate, but like touching all over my body, and it's like that music, and I'm like, not that there's any sex going on, but it's just like in men it's transactional.
It is,
and I really
completely.
And for some reason I think I desire. I've obviously have already covered this. I desire the chase. I desire like, what's next? Okay, what else am I going to achieve?
Yeah.
And if my man is always free to go do anything, and like I'm constantly earning him, I'm constantly like, and I want a guy that's desirable to other women. I want a prize.
Yes.
So if I shut that part of him off, where he is no longer like, sometimes I'll be like, so anyone at work on this new job, like, do you think any girls have a crush on you? And he's like, no, and I'm just like, like. Well, can you start dressing differently or something? Like, I don't know. Like, can you put a vibe out there? Because I am not threatened by it because also he's telling me the truth about it. Now, I'm not. This is not to say that if I was in a relationship with someone and gave them the green light, that they still wouldn't be able to cheat on me, because men do get off on cheating, getting away with something that
adrenaline rush.
Yeah. So I could give someone and be like, I don't care if you fuck another girl. But it's under the parameters of like, you tell me about it eventually. And like, I don't need to see it or like look at a picture of her. Like, I wouldn't even mind if she was way hotter than me. Like, I think there is a problem when I see my friends get jealous of other women, where I'm like, first of all, your husband would never cheat on you. Yeah. And this girl that he's friends with, like, is not even cute. Like, there's just, but they've been cheated on before. So they're really, I mean, it's trauma.
It's an insecurity, for sure.
It's trauma. But I say to them, would you want your boyfriend to not be attracted to anyone but you? Like that, really? And they're like, yes. And I go, that means realistic. he has a disease. Like, his body's shutting down, because men are meant to be attracted to more than one woman. It's just, we haven't evolved out of that yet. And men can claim that, but
women too. Like, I know when a guy is good looking, like, we're human.
We're not blind to it.
Yeah.
Yes. But what men have and what we have, and what you're just talking about, the difference between flirting and actually pursuing it, is integrity. Exactly. And we stay loyal to someone. We know that we're smart enough to know that fleeting little moment, that guy, I told my boyfriend there's like an emotionally intelligent meter above every guy's head, and it's at 0 until I'm proven wrong. They can be hot and they can be charming, but just know that I'm looking at all the factors that I don't know about. So I'm not going to put a lot of perfection on, because I've done that in the past. If I'm mad at my boyfriend, this guy seems nice, and look at his job and his car and the way he treats his staff, and it's like, I don't really, or whatever it is, I can start painting this picture of this fantasy.
Exactly.
And it's just not,
though. Even with dating, even if you've gone on 1 or 2 dates with someone, we have these fantasies in our head of who this person is.
Yes.
You have no idea who this person is.
And you must get that all the time, of guys having a fantasy of what you are. And
probably. No one's ever really expressed that to me. Yeah.
I feel like if they listen to a podcast or like watched you on your shows, I think so. You're like, you have
a pretty good idea of who I am.
Yeah. They expect you to be like leaning next to a bunch of barns and like jewelry and just like
weird. I thought
why aren't you always hanging out by this old rotted fence?
That's how it was going to be. I'm so confused.
Perfect jewelry.
What the hell?
You talk weird.
So great. Nikki, I can sit here with you all freaking day. I don't want to let you go.
It's so fun.
I had a game to play with you, but
my God. I'm sorry.
To be honest, you kind of answered all my questions on my game.
Really?
They were going to be like hot or not, but you like literally did all of them. Good. So it's great. So, but I love you. I think you are so awesome. Thank you for just being so real.
You too, girl, because you don't have to be. You're so pretty.
Thanks.
You really don't have. I'm telling you,
I love you.
You don't have to be anything except what you. And you
That's
are just.
it. Nikki told me I don't have to do shit anymore.
You
people.
don't. You don't have to be talented. You don't have to, but you are, and you really
Thank you.
and you do a service for women. Like women envy you, but you're also like just a really kind, cool person, and
Thank you.
you're just someone that. You don't need to hear all this, but like any of girls I talk to about coming here, they all go, I love her. You are the most beloved by everyone.
Thanks.
There's no one that doesn't like you. I mean, I'm sure
you could go read some comments on my social media.
I'm sure you could find them, but by and
thank
large,
you.
it was just really sweet to be like, oh my God, we all love this girl.
That's so sweet.
And we don't even know exactly. We're just like, she's just, but now I know why. Like just getting to talk to you right now, it's like you're such a cool chick.
Well, I feel the same way about you.
Well, it means a lot to me that you feel that way because
thank you.
It takes one to know one.
It's
so.
true. Well, thank you.
Thanks, girl.
Okay, well, thank you. Thank you. I love you.